right, 1 minute to the top of the hour East African time, and it is time to bring you up to date on what has been taking shape in the world of news. Hey, the King and the Queen of England are still in town. We'll be telling you where the two have been and what they have been up to here on TV 47 News Now. But first, the highlights. King Charles III visits the United Nations offices in Gigiri on day 2 of his Kenyan state visit. The King was received by the Director General of the United Nations Office, Nairobi, Bangura. A group of female leaders hailing from Meru County has rebuffed allegations suggesting that the impeachment of Governor Kawira Mwangaza was driven by gender-related factors.
She has no clue about the structures of governance that are supposed to be governing the county.
Mount Kenya University provides a 100-seat tent to the Kiambu Huduma Center in Thika. The tent is intended to offer shelter to individuals visiting the center, protecting them from the intense sun and ongoing rain in the country. All right, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Moige William. Time to bring you up to speed on what has been taking shape in the world of news. Now, let us start off with King Charles III, where earlier today he made his arrival at the United Nations office in Gigiri for his planned visit. He was warmly welcomed by Bangura, the Director General of the United Nations office in Nairobi. Later, the King, along with renowned marathoner Eliud Kipchoge, inaugurated the junior marathon race at Karura Forest. During the event, Kipchoge and other athletes engaged in discussions with King Charles III. The King also met with junior marathon participants who joined them in a 700-meter walk within Karura Forest as part of the flagging off ceremony. All right, remember it is the second day of the state visit by the King and also the Queen, who are supposed to be having a 4-day state visit within Kenya, but Linda Lela with those details in our subsequent bulletin at 7 and 9. Moving on, the National Dialogue Committee has postponed its sitting to Monday next week. These after State Department officials for housing failed to show up to justify President Ruto's housing levy in the ongoing hearing to resolve the cost of living crisis. According to the committee, other officials expected to appear on Monday are the officials drawn from the National Treasury and the Ministry of Energy. On Thursday next week, the committee is expected to review and harmonize proposals on the cost of living before retreating on Sunday to draft the final report.
We propose to complete our work by the 22nd. I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah. By the 22nd of November, because we don't want to seek any extension. We want to be able to be done over with this whole thing. Kwa hivyo hiyo, huo ndio mpangilio ambao tuko nao.
By Thursday, we shall now review and consider as a committee all the proposals that will have come to us from all the experts, and thereafter retreat to do the final report. And as His Excellency has said, on or before the 22nd, we expect to give the final report to the principals and also table our report before Parliament, both houses.
All right, let us move on to more news. Women leaders drawn from Meru County have now come out to support the impeachment of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza, saying it is not on the basis of gender bias, but rather on facts that she has failed the people of Meru County as their chosen governor. While addressing the media here in Nairobi, the ladies have cited poor leadership skills, abuse of office, and using public funds to fund personal projects among some of the reasons they want her out of office. They have called upon other leaders to look deep into the matter, not just support her blindly.
We need to understand that our money is going to waste because of ignorance. Let's not be emotional about this matter, because, for instance, recently I visited Bore constituency, and I was told about the Baisigiria Dam. The Baisigiria Dam was supposedly done in 6 days at a cost of 49 million, but it is no more now because it has broken its banks, it has washed away all the crops, it almost killed people.
She has no clue about the structures of governance that are supposed to be governing the county. And we call upon our women leaders across the country, national women leaders, Susan Kihika, Governor Wegoro, and others. We support women, and you know we support women. But when it comes to the Meru issues, we are the shoe wearers, and we know what is the problem in Meru.
Requisitions cannot be used as a performance indicator of a governor. We want to say that if Kawera Mwangaza was a performer, the people of Meru could not be complaining today. Kawera has failed. Kawera cannot deliver sustainable development. And part of the reason that she must go home is because she has been running personal projects using public funds.
All right, still on that, after the Senate gave their verdict on Meru Governor Kawera Mwangaza's fate, residents from the county have come out to give their opinion on the matter. The Senate decided that Mwangaza's fate will be decided through plenary instead of a special formed committee as was previously done when she was impeached the first time. During yesterday's Senate sitting, senators debated Mwangaza's mode of being heard, with the majority wanting the governor to avail herself in front of the Senate to defend herself.
Most of these allegations, they are being sweeter even or in court. And we normally hear, I'm not a lawyer, but we normally hear when something is in court, it's not discussed until the court gives the verdict. So we really don't understand why issues which are in courts were discussed in assembly and they are taken to Senate as threshold to impeach Governor Kawera.
Watu tukaongea na watu wakapanga laini asubuhi wakakupigia kura. Tukaongea na wao asubuhi wakapigia gavana kura. Kwa hivyo nakuomba ukonsinde gavana mama, usikubali afukuzwe na hao wanaume ambao wameshikana wote pamoja wameamua kurudisha mama wetu nyuma. Tunakuomba, tunakupembeleza aki kama unapenda Meru, kama unapenda.
The governor cannot work with the media. The governor cannot work with the artists. The governor cannot work with MPs. The governor cannot work with the clergy. The governor cannot work with the deputy governor. And therefore, since he cannot work with anybody, we the people are saying, in an event, and I want to repeat, in an iota of a possibility of Governor Kawera getting back to Meru, we shall invoke the Constitution, Article 1, which gives power to the people.
We are not the impeaching or impeachment of our Governor Kawera Mwangaza is not about women, gender, but about the governance and the inequality.
Away from that, Thika court has finally received a new judge, much to the relief of litigants and other court users who used to appeal their cases at the Kiambu High Court. The judge, Florence Mushemi, will be operating at the newly established High Court in Thika, following calls to bring justice closer to the people. Addressing journalists, after taking over the office, Mushemi said the 535 cases originating from Thika, which were being referred to Kiambu, will now be heard at the court. She acknowledged the success of the e-filing system, with 539 cases already filed electronically, expressing her anticipation for paperless system as the e-portal in Thika continues to prove effective. Thika Court serves Gatundu, Thika, Ruiru, and Ruiru sub-counties.
A few months ago, the Chief Justice established a High Court in Thika, and I was posted as the first judge in Thika. And I can say there has been a sub-registry that was established by Justice Maraka in 2016. But there was no judge in this court. I have reported we have started working, and we can assure the members of public that they now have a High Court, and the High Court is operational. For the time being, we have about 535 matters that have been referred to us by Kiambu. Those are the matters that originated from Thika region. And when we talk of Thika High Court, we are talking about Thika town, where we have 10 magistrates. We are talking of Gatodo. We are talking of Ruiru. So Gatudu and Ruiru at the Thika town are under the same High Court. The judiciary has gone virtual to a big extent in that when we are conducting mentions, not hearings, when we are conducting mentions, we do them virtually.
From the corridors of justice, now let us shift our focus to matters security. Pastoralist group in Bura, ward Isiolo County, have been warned of harboring criminals and bandits who commit atrocities in the rangelands and flee to neighboring counties. Speaking during a meeting with 4 communities that aimed at restoring security in the zone, which has recently witnessed numerous killings and livestock theft, Assistant County Commissioner Benson Kosgei said that those who will be found to have housed criminals will be held accountable for crimes witnessed in the area. On his side, Bishop Stephen Kalunyu said that the resolutions should be followed up by a previous declaration that direct actions be taken whenever a community or individuals commit crimes.
Kutoka Samburu County, wache wakuje na wafuate utaratibu ya Isiolo County. Lakini nyinyi mkiruhusu jamii, wale wanatoka jamii yenu wakitoka Laikipia, wale wanatoka Samburu County, wakiingia Isiolo, wanafanya mambo mabaya, wanarudi. Nyinyi ndio mtabaki na nini? Na lawama. Mtabaki na nini? Na lawama. So ningeomba Mzee Francis, tafadhali utusaidie. Jamii wakitoka, hatukatai watu wa Samburu waingie wapi? Isiolo County. Lakini wakiingia, wache wafuate sheria ya Isiolo. Kwamba sisi watu wa Isiolo tunataka tuweke nini? Amani. Wale wa Laikipia wakikuja tunawakaribisha. Lakini lazima wafuate masharti ya wapi? Ya Isiolo. Kwamba Isiolo tunataka amani. Isiolo iko na jamii mingi. Lazima tuishi nini? Kwa pamoja, na sisi hatutasema mtu aondoke, ni wa Kenya wako na haki ya kuingia. Lakini wakifuruka amani ambaye iko kwa jamii mingi ya Isiolo County, hatuna budi tutakurudisha kaunti yenu.
Tunatarajia kwamba tutakuwa na suluhu kwa wakaaji wa Mlango ambao ni jamii 3 kubwa ambao wanakaa hapa, Waturkana, Wasamburu na Wasomali. Mara nyingine hizi declarations kuna watu wanasipuuza, lakini nimeona zimesaidia sana kwa sababu wale wahalifu pia wanajua kuna
Still on matters security, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has now ordered a crackdown on all leaders who are suspected to be funding banditry and other criminal activities. The Cabinet Secretary, who held a closed-door meeting with security bosses from the Rift Valley region and Samburu County, said the crackdown should also extend to planners and commanders of the bandit attacks. The Cabinet Secretary assured the residents that the government is committed to sustaining the Maliza Uhalifu operation for the total eradication of banditry and livestock rustling in the northern northern part of Kenya. At the same time, he insisted that communities and religious leaders who will be found culpable of supporting banditry activities will be brought to book. All right, now time for a short commercial break, but do keep it TV 47, more news on the other side. Thank you for staying with TV47. Welcome back. As always, thank you for invaluable company. Now, to more news. Approximately 20 cases of pregnant children have been reported in Lungalunga area of Kwale County within the past 3 months. This is from a report from the Children's Department in the Lungalunga area that says that such cases have already been presented to the court with strong legal actions being taken against the suspects. However, it is said that many cases of child abuse are still not reported to the police. Non-governmental organizations are now trying to sensitize parents about the importance of protecting the children in an event that will be held on the 4th of November as one way to deal with the vice.
And in this way, we want to create a collaborative network whereby everybody can take part actively when it comes to matters of child protection. Wazazi bado hawajachukua lile jukumu ya kuwa au ndo wawe watu wa kwanza kulinda wale watoto. There is a lot ile upuuzaji wa majukumu.
Yaani kama ni kesi ya mtoto amepelekwa, kwa mfano kesi ya mtoto imepelekwa kotini, tungeomba mahakama hiyo kesi ichukue muda mfupi sana iweze kuamuliwa na sheria na haki iweze kupatikana. Lakini kuliko utaona kesi inazagaa miezi kadhaa mpaka familia wanachoka. Kuna ile fatigue mpaka familia wanachoka kwenda kotini. So mbinu tunajaribu, lakini bado kuna pale kuna disconnection.
Ya kwamba usalama wa mtoto unaanza na mimi na wewe, ni jukumu letu lote. Tunataka kuelimisha wanajamii kwamba responsibility ya kulinda mtoto ni yetu yote, ni ya mimi na ni yake pia, kama wazazi, kama watoto na kama jamii mzima wa Lungalunga sub-county.
Zia mzazi ako na jukumu la kumlia mtoto na kumpatia maisha mazuri. Serikali pia iko na jukumu, na viongozi wengine ambao pia si wa serikali pia tuko na jukumu la kuhakikisha kwamba wale watoto wanaishi katika mazingira ambayo yatakuwa ni bora kwa maisha yao na maendeleo yao ya siku zijazo.
Elsewhere, Mount Kenya University has donated a 100-seater tent to the Kiambu Huduma Center, which is located in Thika, with the tent meant to help people who frequent the center to shield themselves from harsh weather. According to the manager in charge, Susan Wangu, about 1,300 customers are served per day, and due to the limited space, most of them are forced to queue outside under the scorching sun. Speaking on behalf of the university, Professor Peter Wanderi said the two institutions have in the past collaborated on other issues like the placement of students for internship programs. Wanderi added that the contribution will have a positive impact on the people who visit the center.
And we relate very closely the services that are offered at Mount Kenya University and the services that are offered at the Thika-based Huduma Center for the Kiambu County are quite similar, and we offer to the same group of people. And the university, as we speak, at the moment is the United Nations Academic Impact Hub for Sustainable Development Goal number 10 on reduced inequalities. So when we find people coming here to get services at the Huduma Center, when the sun is scorching, when it is raining, and there is no tent like this one to give them support, we felt as a university there was a gap. And we are happy that a collaborative effort has been done.
So we wish to thank MKU very, very much for this initiative and for answering our cry, because our customers have been suffering from the sun, excess sun and the rain, and now we have a shelter for them. They can wait comfortably and they'll be able to be served better. So we thank them for that.
Today what has been done here is a very important initiative. It's going to boost services to the citizens because the tent here is so massive that it can serve a lot of residents who come all the way from Klari, across Murang'a County and some other part of Kenya.
Indeed, an act of kindness. Moving on, trustees from the retirement benefit schemes have met in Mombasa for discussion seeking ways to sustain their members. Non-remittance of contributions has been highlighted as the major challenge facing the retirement benefits industry, calling for a review in the law to allow the deduction of pensions at source and remission to the schemes before the money is transferred to the employer. Kenyans have been called upon to adopt a saving culture for their pensions and shun away from withdrawing, hence avoiding high dependency in their old age. The Kenyan government has also been pushing for saving culture to avoid much borrowing.
It also includes our expectations that we would have. Our law provides that when contributions are deducted, they must be transmitted to the scheme within 10 days of the end of the financial year. Now, that has not been the case for some of the public institutions, mostly the public sector universities, the county governments, and some of the parastatals. They've had financial challenges. We have been working with them to ensure that this matter is addressed. We've had meetings and engagements with the particular organizations. We've had the support of the National Treasury in dealing with this matter. We've also had our laws amended to ensure that contributions are remitted on time and defaulters held to account on that.
The main thing we are doing was basically discussing about what we need to do to sustain the futures of our members in pension schemes. That was really the main theme. And around this, we've discussed a number of points, basically beginning from regulation, looking at the investments, looking at what kind of instruments are there to assist members, and also looking at what is happening around the world.
If you look at saving as an income, then you find that for everything amount that you save, it's not for today, it's for future. So if you need to save 1 shilling, it's different than somebody who is not saving at all.
When you access the money while you are young, the temptations and the likelihood of misusing that money is known. And that's why actually the government reviewed those amendments and the law to ensure that people don't get money when they are very young.
All right, now time to bring you up to speed on what has been taking shape in the world of sports. Starting off, the semi-finals of Africa Football League is scheduled to be played tonight in Tunisia and Egypt respectively. The high-flying Mamelodi Sundowns will pay a visit to the Egyptian side Al Ahly, with Sundowns having a 1-goal advantage after their 1-0 victory in the first leg of the match. In other match, we expect Tunis will host Wydad Casablanca.